Welcome, everyone. I was using Owlbear Rodeo for my virtual tabletop and just getting by using pen and paper for tracking combats. It wasn't the greatest method, so I thought to myself, why can't I just build an app to make this easier? So I did. It's a free web app. It allows you as the DM to broadcast to any number of players on their own browser watching, keeping track of the initiative order, and also allowing you, the DM, to set different combat effects and broadcast those out, such as advantage or being stunned or being paralyzed. There's been more than maybe once or twice, unfortunately, when I forgot somebody had advantage or such a thing using pen and paper. The other thing is it has a random encounter generator, so that's pretty cool. And then that seamlessly integrates with the combat tracker, so you can get going quick. So let's take a look. Here we are at KoboldHelper.com. The first experience is trying to help the player get ready to join a session to make it convenient for all your players. But the point here is we wanted to have a little demo of how to set things up. So we have this link here. I want to set up a combat or an encounter for my players. Click it. I get new options that are going to let me get this done. So the first thing is to add your party members. Party members are remembered across different combats, and you also can store them in local storage. So if you want to set up your party, store it, and then on your different sessions, you don't have to punch them all in again. I'll go ahead and click party members. Add party member. Let's add Alina. Alina the cleric, if I can type. There we go. Health. 34. I can start Alina wounded if I wanted to. Level is important for getting tracking CR and for especially later for random encounters. Order modifier, because we're going to automatically roll initiative. The order advantage, some items give you advantage on initiative. Perception mod, stealth mod, insight. These are different attributes. Is Alina exhausted? The one point is I can go to the party tab and I get a listing of all my party members. If I wanted to say do a roll behind the screen, conveniently have the mods for like stealth, because perhaps you don't want the player to roll their stealth so they don't know that they're not stealthy. And then asking them for the mod kind of gives away, not it's annoying, it kind of gives away that you're rolling stealth. So those are all in handy. Well, let's get back to combat. We see that all the players are automatically added to the combat. So now is what's left. It's tracking the CR rating of the party, so you can kind of keep a good sense of whether or not the encounter is balanced. But it's time to add the monsters. So we get this nice gallery of all the SRD monsters with their CR ratings. I can just punch in anything I want if I want to do something completely custom, but it's more convenient to use the lookup here. So work. Here we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and add. So you can see how once I get closer in CR, it's giving this yellow, which is kind of like you're getting close to an average expected counter. I'm going to keep going to show you that once you get beyond, it goes red just as a warning to you, the DM, that, hey, maybe this is a little bit too tough, but you can always do whatever you want to do. Okay, so if I go back to combat, all the monsters I just selected are added. So at this point, I'm ready to start my combat. The key here is that I am going to be able to control, so the icons are your current attributes, your health status, and I have the ability to punch in different combat effects and broadcast those out. So all I need to do is decide on a name for my combat session for the night. It should probably be something unique to your group. I'll just put in Party 1 as an example. It's setup. And then simply, again, tell your players to go to KoboldHelper.com. And all they've got to do is punch in the session that you told them, and they are. Stay tuned for the next broadcast. So back to the DM. I'm going to go ahead and just punch in some of the effects just so you can see them. Assuming that the combat had gone for a while, poor Alina is unconscious. Oh, one thing I should mention: you can click on any creature and get the SRD content for easy reference. That's a nice thing right there. Poor Alina's unconscious, so we see a change to the health indicator. And perhaps the first orc is dead. And some of the other orcs, let's show some of the other things. Stunned. And let me be restrained as well. Enchanted. Charmed, maybe, who knows. We can put in, here's paralyzed, and you can put in general notes. Stuff about Orc 4. As you see fit, that would be helpful to track. Also, if you get below 50%, get an indication of that, sort of the bloodied state, if you will, so your players can understand. So at this point, I'm going to start, and I'm going to rip off this tab, and we're going to watch it from the perspective of the player, so you can see what your players are going to be experiencing. But I'm just going to hit start, that same start key, and here we go. There we go. So the players immediately, it rolls initiative, and the players get prominently in the center of the screen which creature's turn it is, what their effects are, so it reminds everybody, and a clue who's up next, so that person can start thinking about what they want to do. So then I, as the DM, can just advance the turn when it's appropriate, and then the center screen updates appropriately. Oh yeah, that's right, I'm unconscious, I gotta roll my death saving throws, that sort of thing. I'll just cycle through here. Orc is dead. Paralyzed, and that was our general notes we put in, just reminding everybody about something that I wanted to remember as a DM, or I wanted to make sure everybody remembers. And there you go. So not taking some of the cognitive load off of me, the DM, having to remember all these stats, and just keeping everything tracked. All right, so I think the next thing I will mention is that we do have a dice roller. So as I, the DM, roll a dice, it will be broadcast out to all the other players, as you see there. Oh, look, I did a crit. And there's also a history, so if we want to kind of remember, oh, what was that last roll we did, it's right there for you. Then I, as a player, can also roll, and it will be broadcast out to the DM and all the other players. So that's perfectly fine, too. You hit the roll. So this is, just to be clear, I can switch this to whatever I like. I can get some fireball damage if that's not what I want to do. Okay, so the last thing I think we would want to mention is, again, flipping back over to being the DM, random encounters. So we have some nice facilities here. Party CR is a key part of having a balanced encounter. So if I had added party members, then it would automatically calculate the appropriate CR. I'm just going to punch in 5 for 4 5th level, and then we get into being able to pick the threat level. So what I like to do for my players is have them, when it's time that maybe they're going to do a short rest in the dungeon, have them roll a d12. I don't know, 1 it's a deadly, 2 it's a dangerous, 3 it's a setback. So they know that that's the mechanic, it's objective, gives them a little bit to think about. Well, do we really want to rest? It's kind of fun. But once you determine what your threat level, now it's what is the encounter. You can do it by monster. I can have it totally random. But more than likely, you're going to want to pick something that's sort of thematic to where you are. So I really want just some kind of goblinoids. I want some kind of undead. I want some kind of awakened plants, because I'm in some special swampy area. Who knows? But the point is that once I hit generate, it's going to create a nice little horde of undead that is thematically correct and balanced to the party CR. And every time I click it, it's a little different, so it's fresh. And I had multiple encounters, it's not like, oh yeah, well that's weird. There's always 2 skeletons, nothing like that. And then goblinoids, just to show it. Now you've got like a little war band of goblinoids. Okay. Now you can also do it by terrain. I'm in a forest. I wasn't expecting my players to go to the forest, but I need a random encounter that's appropriate for a forest. Go. Awaken plants. Horde of spiders. So cool. So forest, dungeon, caverns. Last up is maybe it can be a random encounter where the party just stepped into a trap to mix it up. So I can do that here. Generate trap. So what's the DC? What's to spot it, to avoid it? Otherwise, a pit opened. So this is randomized dimensions and a randomized effect. Oh, it contains a swarm of snakes. That's kind of fun. And if the key is, though, it's going to be different every time. This time it was a little bit smaller pit, but it has some acid in it. And here, oh, it's not a pit, it's just a blast of lightning. And there's the damage. That was going to randomize the intensity. So you get the idea. The last thing to mention is if you do go ahead and generate monsters, so here's my single Grick from a cave, it automatically is added to the combat tracker. If I had party members, they would be added here too, and I am one step away from getting the combat underway quickly. Okay, I think that just about wraps up a quick summary of what Kobold Helper can do. All right then, that's Kobold Helper. If you think it's lame or doesn't do something you think you would like it to do, let me know. Put it in a comment, and I will fix it and make it not so lame. Thanks, everybody. Bye.